Every mother wants the best for her children. She would move mountains, face storms, and endure hardships, all to make sure her little ones never go hungry, never feel cold, and never lack love. But sometimes, her sacrifices go unnoticed, hidden behind the laughter and cries of her children. This is the story of one mother's silent, selfless love and the beautiful lesson her child learned. In a small town, tucked away in a modest house, lived a woman named Amina and her two children, Sammy and Layla. Their home was simple, barely enough to keep the cold winds out, but it was filled with love. Every day, Amina worked tirelessly. She cleaned houses, washed clothes for neighbors, and took on any odd job she could find. But no matter how hard she worked, money was always scarce. Despite the hardships, Amina never let her children feel the hunger she sometimes felt herself. Every night, after making sure Sammy and Layla had eaten, she would quietly skip her own meal, telling herself that tomorrow would be better. She would sit in the dimly lit kitchen, staring at her empty plate, whispering a silent prayer for her children's health and happiness. The children, busy with school and play, never noticed the subtle sacrifices their mother made. They noticed when she scolded them, when she hugged them, when she smiled at them. But the quiet moments, the sleepless nights, the empty plates, they were hidden from their innocent eyes. One evening, Sammy returned home from school earlier than usual. He found the kitchen door slightly open and peeked inside. What he saw made his heart sink. There was his mother, sitting alone on the floor, picking at a small piece of bread. She didn't see him at first. He watched silently, unable to comprehend how someone so full of love could be silently starving. Sammy didn't say a word. He ran to his room and began thinking. He thought about all the times he had complained about food, about snacks he had wasted, about the small portions he had pushed aside. Suddenly, it hit him. His mother was putting him and his sister before herself every single day. Every bite she skipped, every sleepless night, was for their sake. The next morning, Sammy decided to do something. He didn't have much money, but he had a small piggy bank where he had been saving coins for months. Carefully, he emptied it and bought a loaf of bread, some vegetables, and a small jar of jam. When Amina returned from work, Sammy ran to her with a big smile, holding the small bundle of food. "Mom, this is for you," he said, trying to sound casual. "I saved it." Amina looked at him in surprise, then her eyes filled with tears. She wanted to say something, but the lump in her throat wouldn't let her. She just hugged him tightly, feeling the warmth of her child's love for the first time in a way that went beyond words. From that day on, Sammy made it his mission to make sure his mother never went hungry again. He would save portions of his meals, help her with chores, and even sneak small treats into the house just to see her smile. Layla joined in too. Slowly, the children learned the value of giving, of noticing the silent sacrifices, and of returning the love that had been poured onto them selflessly for years. Amina, on her part, felt an overwhelming sense of pride. She realized that her children were growing up to be kind and thoughtful, not just because of the things she did for them, but because of the lessons they observed, the lessons of empathy, sacrifice, and love. This story teaches us something powerful. Love is often silent, and sacrifices are sometimes invisible. But even the smallest acts of appreciation can light up a life that has been quietly giving for years. Children often grow up thinking their parents' efforts are ordinary, routine, or unnoticed. But in reality, every skipped meal, every sleepless night, and every act of selflessness shapes who they are. Sammy and Layla grew up carrying this lesson in their hearts. They understood that tea,